what can I be doing that is setting up my body so that I can live to be 90 or 100 or over?
Oh, it definitely does. It makes you feel happier. It's like an antidepressant.
Core benefits: reduces cortisol, improves stress resilience, and enhances recovery.
Improves mood and reduces depressive symptoms, which has I think a dopaminergic or a serotonin response chemically in the brain.
Lowering cortisol levels or just managing stress levels, stress resilience. That is something that your body can do by hearing specific sounds. Welcome back to another episode of The Science of Sound. Today we have Christian Fowler back in the studio with us. Christian, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Christian's one of our team members here at SOAK and shares my passion for science. And so we're going to have a conversation today specifically about supplements. So I kind of pitched this idea to you and you're like, yeah, absolutely. And I want to add some to the list. So what we're doing today is really going through supplements that we take, why we take them, and then also we both did a little bit of research and looked at some of the science behind it. And we have our own personal reasons for taking these, but then when you dive in and you look at, I didn't realize that creatine does this, right?
Huge.
And so just wanted to have an episode today to talk about things that people can be doing to optimize their life.
Awesome. Absolutely. Let's dig into it.
So
it really did blow my mind as you sent these, and I'm looking at the studies of things I already take and things I don't take that you do.
Yeah.
It's such a big list. Like it made me want to make sure I do not miss a single day as I'm taking these supplements. It's really powerful stuff.
Yeah. Well, and you also said it's a big list, right? So we have 14 different things that we identified, which is a little bit overwhelming, right? And in going through the process of creating this episode, I didn't want a long list. But some of these things are combined, right? Like some of these things, it is 14, but maybe there are 3 or 4 of them that you can take combined, right?
Definitely.
And so it makes it not as overwhelming.
100%.
But I do think that, as we go through why we have these on our list, it's really important reasons. And so kind of laying that foundation there, I also want to say the reason why I take these supplements is for personal health reasons and my personal goals, right? So one of the big things for me is I'm trying to increase my longevity. So I'm thinking about right now, what can I be doing that is setting up my body so that I can live to be 90 or 100 or over, right? And while that might sound aspirational to a lot of people, I think that where we're at with technology, where we're at with advancements in science in our healthcare system, I really think that that's not a hard lift, but I do think that there are things that we can be doing to increase that. I don't just want to age to 100. I want to age at a healthy rate, right? Like I want to be 100%. Active at 100.
Yeah.
So
what was
that
that
also
quote
changes
that the first person to live to, I can't remember the age there, is already alive. The first person to live to 120 or 150 is already alive. So I think we are with the healthcare, like you said, with where we are now. We're at the advent of understanding the human body so well that it's this coupled with other things we know are healthy, the exercise, getting good sleep, that gives you the softball that gets you into aging well, like you're saying.
Right.
Aging healthy. Plus you have a child. I have one on the way. I want to be able to bend over, pick up my kid, wrestle with them, help them in college, things that, 100 years ago, someone living to 75 would have trouble doing any of those things.
Yes, so. Absolutely. Well, and you also mentioned something about, I think we both said it, aging healthier is going to be easier because of science advancements in our healthcare and our understanding of the body. Yes, I agree. And yes, we did both say that. But also something that we're going to see and hear, right, is a lot of this is ancient knowledge. Some of this is stuff that we already knew, right, for a long time. And we're kind of relearning maybe, or science is uncovering, here's how it actually works. But people have been taking some of these things for a long time.
Thousands of years.
So we can talk about some of that also.
So we have the spread of this in this very localized pop. One of these we will get into India. It was something there for thousands of years. And then with the internet then spreading and literature being so disseminated, then science is we're going to look into this thing.
Right. Yeah.
And it's crazy what they find. So I'm excited.
Okay. So we're going to dive in. The first one I put on the list, this is something that we both take and it's everywhere right now. is creatine monohydrate. So what is it? Why do we take it? It's a naturally occurring compound. It's stored in the muscles as phosphocreatine, and it's used to rapidly regenerate ATP. Our body uses ATP for energy, so that's why it's important. When we think about creatine, really, like, at least when I think about creatine, the number one thing that comes to mind is muscle and performance.
Sure, I think that's
right?
most people.
That's what we've heard about, because that's really where like the foundational science on creatine started, was just focused on performance.
Yeah, muscle, strength, endurance. And I think it goes back probably like 50 years. It's one of the most heavily researched supplements, like 1960s.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But almost all the science stayed in that area of
muscle
performance, endurance, right?
Like, so what else are we finding it does?
So, well, I want to lean into that, because creatine does improve performance, right? So there's a study here and we'll include all these studies in the description. So creatine increases performance by 10 to 20%. And this is for things like weightlifting, swimming, and running.
Which is huge.
Can you imagine a 10 to 20% increase in your weightlifting performance?
I mean, a 4% increase in anything is like a huge, markable increase. But 10 to 20 is almost in line with like PEDs, like performance enhancing drugs, and it's natural. It's yeah.
And this is occurring. Creatine is something that your body already produces, but you can take it as a supplement, which means that you can add to the creatine baseline intake that your body is able to have.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So diving in just kind of on that a little bit further, I found this quote of the International Society of Sports Nutrition said that creatine is the most effective nutritional supplement that's currently available to athletes in terms of increasing high intensity exercise capacity and lean body mass during training.
That is high praise. For one supplement.
For one thing. Basically what they're saying is, if there's one thing that you can do and you're a professional athlete, like, you should be taking creatine. But this isn't just professional athletes. I think this is the everyday person as well.
I think it should, and it's so affordable now because of how heavily it's produced, studied. It's everywhere. So you can get this at a GNC, at a Walmart, you can get it online on Amazon, and they're all good sources of it. So it's like, it doesn't have to be something that you break the bank getting.
Right.
It's very expensive, very manageable as well.
So something important about creatine is that it does load up in the body. There is a process of taking creatine. So I take, my creatine is a 5-gram scoop, but I do overflowing scoops. So I take somewhere between like 5 to 8 grams of creatine every day.
Which is smart.
You have to take creatine every day because you need to build up that reserve in your body. So your body actually has a place to store the creatine. And what you're doing, to get all of the benefits of it, you want to have excess creatine in your diet.
And they talk about front loading it, right? Like in the first 5 days you take creatine, you want to take more than the recommended dose. It's not going to hurt you. But like you're saying, it loads it. But my sister, Natalia, she took it like 10 grams a day for 5 days. And it kicked in faster versus 2 weeks of 5 grams a day. And then you start to feel the benefits. So
and I've heard that as well. What I would also caveat is saying, this is all just our personal opinions. We are
some
not
anecdotal. That's
advice.
not in the studies. Absolutely.
But
good disclaimer.
When we look at creatine, there's also these other benefits. So neurological benefits. So one of the studies showed that participants, there's a study that was having participants perform repetitive mathematical calculations. And it found that taking 8 grams a day for 5 days, so this is in the same range of what we're talking about, increased oxygen utilization in the brain and reduced mental fatigue. So there are neurological benefits.
Not just bodily, or bodily in terms of muscle.
Not just like muscle enhancement, performance enhancement, endurance, things like that. So we're seeing improved memory, improved attention. This is both in healthy adults and in older adults. Enhanced executive functions like planning, problem-solving, decision-making. And there's some research that's showing that it may slow cognitive decline. So Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that.
It's like the holy grail of supplements.
It seems like creatine may be the big thing.
I think it is the big thing. Because the evidence on it, and this is not anecdotal, is women, teens, adults, men, every age group can take creatine and benefit from it. Because like Aaron said a couple times, it is naturally produced in the body.
Right.
It's naturally occurring in food. It's something that we maybe don't get enough of or create enough of in our body just at a baseline level. So the supplementation is like vital.
Right. Well, and I think that's one of those things where I would hesitate to say that we don't naturally create enough of it. You know, our bodies are optimized based on, you know, millions of years of evolution.
Yeah.
So our bodies are optimized based on what is going to keep me alive back when I was running away from a saber-toothed tiger, right?
As Dr. Paul Harris
so,
says often,
like, you know, that is a different situation than the world we live in today, where, you know, for us, food is not scarce, and we probably don't get enough exercise in our regular day-to-day.
We're not running from saber-toothed tigers.
We go out and intentionally do that type of exercise, right? And then there are, and we can't talk about creatine without talking about vanity metrics as well, right?
Sure.
Creatine does increase. One of the ways that it helps with your strength, with your, you know, athletic performance and your endurance is because it increases the amount of water that is in your muscles.
Yes.
Which does make your muscles look bigger. So there's a vanity metric there. But that is one of the big ways that it increases your performance, because it allows for nutrients. It allows for faster recovery. Right.
That's the water, instead of muscles having an overload of glycogen, which it looks like creatine also helps regulate glycogen, there's enough water in the body that things are soluble.
Right.
So the minerals, the nutrients that you're actually taking
transported the way that they need to be transported. And so it's reducing, I think in some ways, reducing the amount of stress that's on the body and allowing it to recover faster.
I was about to say, so the saber-toothed tiger of 4,000 years ago, or 100,000 years ago was a saber-toothed tiger. Now, unless we go out and exercise, we're not getting it. But the saber-toothed tigers are stress in the workplace.
Exactly.
And deadlines and bills. And the oxidative stress that causes, that it seems creatine helps negate, is pretty pivotal too.
Yeah.
So the mental fatigue you're taking in, the decline you're feeling because you're not getting good sleep because you're thinking about this or that, it looks like it fortifies you against those things, which is...
Yeah, and that's perfect because it helps us jump into the next section of creatine, which is healthy aging. So there's a study from Creator from 2021. And so I'm going to run down a list of several things. Creatine supplementation has been reported to help lower cholesterol, triglycerides, and or manage blood lipid levels, reduce accumulation of fat on the liver, decrease homocysteine, thereby reducing the risk of heart disease, serve as an antioxidant, enhance glycemic control, reduce the progress of some forms of cancer, increase strength and muscle mass, minimize bone loss in some studies, improve functional capacity, in fibromyalgia patients, and enhance cognitive function, particularly in older populations. And so that was just a 2021 kind of looking at all of the studies that have been done to date, and here's what they found, right?
Goodness.
And so when we think about what is that number one thing that we would recommend to somebody, creatine,
top of the list. So I have a question before we move on to anything else here, is for the listener who hasn't taken this, who hasn't researched when the best time to take it is. When do you take it? When do I take it? And how do you take it?
Yeah, I take it in the morning, and I just put creatine in a glass of water, stir it up, swirl it, chug it, fill up the glass again, stir it up, swirl it, chug it.
Oh, you get some extra water and then get the residue.
That's because they're, at least for me, because I'm not doing warm water, or there are things that I could do that would probably help it dissolve better, that would help my body's absorption of it. I should probably start that. It just isn't as convenient as just filling up a glass of water with creatine.
Sure,
so that's why I do it. It's not the best taste, and so it's just one of those, like, how fast can I
do you check off flavored?
No,
it's not unflavored.
What? Oh yeah.
Oh, it is unflavored. Okay. Yeah, I once did the strawberry, and I decided the unflavored's the way to go. But I did find the solubility issue for years. It was just room temp water, and then I decided to basically, off a Dave Asprey thing he was talking about. I think the title of the episode is something like, I take creatine in my morning coffee. Okay. So I started mixing it into hot coffee.
It's Dave Asprey.
It's Dave Asprey, and his hot coffee is a big part of his life. But I mixed it in, and I found that I didn't get the chalky taste. It mixed in really well. And then I always take it in the morning, off your point, because if I took it at night, I found I didn't sleep as well.
Right.
And it being an energy facilitator, ATP production, mitochondrial facilitator, really makes sense.
That's actually fascinating. I have not looked into that, but it makes sense. There was one night, so this supplement protocol that we're going through is something that I started a couple weeks ago. And about a month ago, when I was building this list, I saw a podcast that was talking about creatine and the benefits of it. And they talked about, in that specific one, taking like 20 grams of creatine a day. And really the reason that someone would do 20 grams of creatine is because of all the cognitive benefits, right? So taking, 3 to 8 grams is the amount that's been shown to have that's what you need to take, minimum amount for the performance enhancement side. So for muscle growth and things like that. But if you want the cognitive benefits, because it's harder for creatine to get to the brain because of the blood-brain barrier, you need to take a higher dose. And so they're talking about like 20, 25, maybe 30 grams, depending on where you're at in life, right? So as you age, you would want to take more creatine.
Makes sense.
To have those cognitive benefits.
50s, 60s,
right.
that range.
And also because your body, gets worse at absorbing the nutrients and everything like that. So you're giving your body everything extra that it might need. So anyway, long story short, it was at night, watched this podcast episode, got really pumped up, like creatine's the best
you had
thing.
some already.
I had it.
And you took it.
I took it. I took 20 grams. I did not sleep good that night at all.
Oh, man.
So maybe there's some correlation there.
So
I also went from 0 to 100, right? Like very quickly,
instantly,
0 to 20 grams.
Your body's like, there's suddenly a lot of creatine.
Right. Probably wasn't the best idea. But
well, the first time when I got onto it at like 18 years old, there was a guy who was a personal trainer and not at his fault, but I asked him when to take it. He said he can take it anytime because your body's loading it.
Yeah.
So yes, that's true. But then when a couple years later, optimal time based off the function of creatine. Right. And if it's enhancing energetic function, then it made sense to take it in the morning. My mom then years later started taking it at night, just trying to get it in at my recommendation. Right. And she's like, I can't sleep. I was like, well, try it in the morning. I tried it in the morning. My energy all day is better. Yeah. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, and some people also use it as like a pre-workout as well. So yes. I typically work out in the mornings. And so it also makes sense for me to take creatine in the mornings.
Absolutely.
But that's really, really interesting and important to share about.
I think so. I think maybe each of these we should mention the time we take them.
Yeah. Well, it's easy for me. I take all these in the morning. That's not necessarily the optimal time for all of them. Some of these you would want to take.
Few exceptions maybe.
Right, like Magnesium. Depending on how and when you eat your meals as well, right?
Sure.
Some of these are fat soluble, for instance, right? So you would want to eat a fattier meal. So typically for most people, that's dinner time. So maybe some of these you would want to take around dinner time. But I think creatine is one of those safe to take in the morning.
I think so. Yeah. I think we could put that stamp on it.
So the next few that we're going to talk about are kind of in this category of like stress and adaptogen support. So I think that we both take at least these next 3, which are Ashwagandha, Rhodiola rosea, and Cordyceps.
Yes, we do.
So what are these?
So Ashwagandha, Rhodiola, and Cordyceps, is Ashwagandha also a mushroom?
That's my understanding.
Okay, so to our understanding, Ashwagandha, Rhodiola, and Cordyceps are mushrooms. And of all the species of mushrooms, some are very toxic to humans. But of the smaller list, that's not. They, I don't know how many years this even goes back, but some have shown to have incredible benefits with neurological, adaptogenic benefits, meaning the body's going to take in the particles, the nutrients it needs out of the mushrooms and discard the rest. And so it's incredible for cognitive aging or the lack thereof of cognitive aging, focus, memory retention, processes in the body that have to do with the, not to get too sciencey, but the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. And so that is kind of a driver for the body. It kind of governs a lot of things in the body.
And so that's these 3, Ashwagandha, Rhodiola, and Cordyceps, are considered adaptogens. And so adaptogens really just means that they're helping the body get back to homeostasis. So if you have too much cortisol, it's going to help bring it down, right? So it's really about regulating the body is kind of when I think about adaptogens and these types of mushrooms.
Maybe a better definition.
And also I would say this falls into the bucket of these are things that people have been taking for centuries, right?
Okay.
Like this is one of those like ancient wisdom type of situations, right? Is there are different cultures around the world that have been taking these types of things for a long time because they understood that there were some of these benefits. And where we're at today is
now we're
kind of the science behind, well, how does that work and all of that. So
well, I'd love to go through some of these.
Yeah. Ashwagandha, core benefits, reduces cortisol, improves stress resilience, and enhances recovery. So fits right into kind of my definition of what an adaptogen is, right? Just regulating the body. I think this is really important, especially, talking about our saber-toothed tiger example, where our stressors are different today than they were thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands years ago.
Yeah, maybe a bit less physical, more neurological.
Right. And so I think the stressors that we experience today that we need to be able to overcome are primarily mental stressors, and we don't have an exercise related to those stressors. And that's even if we're watching TV, right? So studies have shown, and I think we've talked about this before, where if we're watching a movie and it's an action movie, it's a gunfight scene, something like that, our body doesn't necessarily know physiologically the difference.
We're not in it.
That we're not there because we're watching it and we're having a stress response to it. The difference, though, is that we're not having any of the exercise response associated with that stress. So when we think about the body's way to regulate stress naturally, if we're running from a saber-toothed tiger, we're physically running, right? We're moving. Yeah. When we stop, when we put our hands above our head and like we got away and we can finally breathe,
we can rest and breathe.
We can get back into rest and digest easier because there was a physical movement that was associated with that stress response. Now, when you're sitting on the couch watching an action movie, I'm not trying to hate on action, it's just the easiest example.
Or video games.
Right. When you're doing that, you don't have the physical response, right? You're sitting. So I think that changes the whole system as well. So we need things like this, Aaron. Right? We need adaptogens that help us to get our body to regulate, to get out of that stress response, to get out of the fight or flight and back into the rest and digest. Because also why exercising is important, right? Because by actually doing the act of that, it puts our body through a whole cycle, which then helps us to regulate our stress better naturally. And these are supplements that can also help with that. So really we're just, again, as we started this episode, this is about performance optimization. This is about optimizing your life. And, you know, for me, one of the big things is how do I also increase my longevity while I'm, you know, enhancing my performance.
I can absolutely say that's a goal of mine too.
Yeah.
But on the physical thing, so I just wanted to comment on this. Something they found is the running from the saber-toothed tiger, you get scared or you're watching an action movie or playing a video game. And neurologically, like you said, you have those chemical responses. One of them is your adrenals tick up, your thyroid ticks up. And your blood is being inundated with a lot of adrenaline. And if you're sitting still, what does that turn into? It's just cortisol. So you're stacking on cortisol in your blood. You're not regulating it out through your muscles like you would if you were running.
Interesting.
And so these adaptogens in reducing cortisol, or at least bringing it back to where your body likes to have it, is I just wanted to add that point, but it's incredible. It's pivotal. Yeah.
Well, and that's when we look at other potential benefits of ashwagandha, we're seeing improved sleep quality, boosts immunity, helps regulate blood sugar levels, increases muscle strength, mass, exercise performance, improves fertility and hormone balance in men and women, protects against neurodegenerative damage. So it's antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and supports cardiovascular health by lowering cholesterol.
Goodness.
So again, it really like this is why it's on the list, right? It fits that bucket of so many different benefits here.
And it makes me wonder what ashwagandha and rhodiola and cordyceps, because they share some, what it gets at a cellular level, because some of the things that are very beneficial for women aren't for men, and vice versa. Right. Like men don't need to take prenatals to be at a top tier physical state, whereas women it's highly recommended to do that during pregnancy and even not pregnant. So,
but for men, if we're talking about fertility, one of the most important things, one of the things that is the most detrimental for sperm is stress, is cortisol.
Yes, absolutely.
So, while there's not necessarily one supplement to take for that, here is a supplement that helps reduce your cortisol and regulate your stress response, your stress resilience. So
that's definitely true. That's why the stress of modern day is a big hit on that. And so if we can't mitigate things, though we should be with mental practices and exercise, we definitely, I like that ashwagandha is at the second top of the list.
Well, and that's so 2, 3, and 4 here on our list: ashwagandha, rhodiola, and cordyceps. Again, this fits into one of the other things we talked about, which is 3 more things on the list. This is the second time we're talking, and here's 2, 3, and 4. Really, for me, this is just number 2, because this is all, you can get ashwagandha, rhodiola, and cordyceps together, and then that helps. It's not 3 more things, it's just 1 more thing that I can do every day, and that is helping my body.
So. I will add, so creatine is a powder we mix into water, it's soluble, but The way I take them is the ashwagandha, rhodiola, and cordyceps are in a capsule form. So I'm able to just take it, drink it with water. And for me, I don't know what you do, but in the morning I fast. I don't eat till my lunch meal. Yeah. And I found that when I take these specifically in the morning, there's no stomach pain, no, dis-ease, lack of ease. I'm not going to say disease, but no uncomfortability in my stomach. So that's a big benefit as we're talking about the timing and when we want to take them.
I agree. The other big thing that I see on this, I wear an Oura ring. And so I'm constantly looking at my stress response, like my stress levels, right? And it gives you basically 4 or 5 different categories of where you're at throughout the day. And so I'm looking at that. When I take ashwagandha, rhodiola, and cordyceps in the morning, my stress levels don't go as high. I'm more balanced, but I'm more in that like moderate stress level. I feel better.
I have been watching that with my Oura ring.
I have a measurable benefit, but I also have a perceived benefit. I genuinely feel
Which is that sweet spot. You want to see both of those, and that's awesome. Yep. Well, for the sake of time, what do you say we go through some benefits of rhodiola and cordyceps as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so rhodiola rosea, the core benefits are it enhances energy, resilience, and mental performance under stress, which is, again, you have a stress response with ashwagandha in terms of it getting you back to your base cortisol level. Right. But this actually helps you when you're performing under the stress, which may be what you're seeing with your Oura ring. Some potential health benefits that the studies will cover. It reduces stress and anxiety by lowering cortisol, again, like ashwagandha. Yep. Improves mood and reduces depressive symptoms, which has a dopaminergic or a serotonin response chemically in the brain.
So neurological benefit here.
Yeah, big one. Boosts physical and mental endurance. So this coupled with the creatine and the ashwagandha,
it's just doubling down.
It's wild. May improve cognitive function, memory, and alertness, which I think may even be a precursor to not being stressed, is if you're aware of your situation, aware of your environment. Supports cardiovascular health and blood pressure regulation, which is huge through all ages, I think. The earlier you start on healthy things for your blood pressure, the better you're going to be at 50, 60. Or 90 and 100, like we're trying to get. And the last one it has here is contains antioxidants that protect cells from oxidative damage. So aging better, longevity, mitochondrial health. It helps all those things, which is, the litany of these. And these aren't historically mushrooms or food materials, nutritional materials that are available everywhere. These are region specific usually, like some of these are. And, with shipping, with science, with the advent of this age that we're living in, you can get this whether you're in Iowa or Africa. And it's like, that's amazing.
And it's all together in a capsule. Yeah. And it's one. You just take one capsule. And the same thing. So, just went through rhodiola and how it plays nicely with ashwagandha and creatine. Cordyceps, similar thing, right? So when you look at the core benefits of cordyceps, improves oxygen uptake, ATP production, and endurance. So here it's like, okay, we're doubling down on creatine, right? So potential health benefits also include stimulating the immune system. It's anti-inflammatory, which could help with arthritis and asthma, enhances exercise performance and reduces fatigue, anti-aging effects by reducing oxidative stress, respiratory support for the kidneys and also for the liver, may help with cholesterol and improve heart health, and helps regulate blood sugar levels.
The overlap is crazy. So where creatine also helps reduce fat on the liver, this helps liver health, kidney health, lower cholesterol like ashwagandha does. Like, oh my goodness. I love the overlap. It makes you wonder how cool our creator is for like putting all these things, overlapping factors, and one can't have all of it, but the symphony of them together.
Right. Well, and it's cool because creatine is something that we make naturally in our body, but here we have ashwagandha, rhodiola, and cordyceps, which are things that
nature produces.
Produces, and then we're getting the benefits there as well. So
we're going to hit this from all angles, guys. We're going to age really well.
This next one still falls into the same category, right? So stress and adaptogen support. But this is something that I had heard you talk about before, but I had not looked into it all. But now that I've heard about it, I'm actually really interested in adding it to my regimen. So tell us a little bit more.
Shilajit is incredible. I've been taking this for about a year now. My siblings anecdotally saw big benefits from it. My brother Sam and his wife Sage. In men and women, it has a hormone balancing effect. And it has a lot of effects we'll get into, but the hormone balancing helps with male testosterone production, sperm count, and it also helps with female cycles. regulation of that, because it's an adaptogen in terms of getting you back to your body's homeostasis.
Right. Yeah. So that hormone support really.
But before continuing, let me explain a bit of what it is. So reading the description here, Shilajit is a mineral-rich resin, primarily from the Himalayas, and it's formed over centuries. So it's not quickly available, but over hundreds of years from plant matter and microbial activity. Contains fulvic acid and 80 plus trace minerals. So even high-end steak has like 50. Right. So 80 trace minerals. The core benefits, though, are it's a rejuvenator. In traditional Ayurvedic circles, it was called rasayana. It supports energy, recovery, and vitality. And then to kind of, before we get into when I take this and how I take this, I want to read some potential benefits. So energy and performance. It increases ATP production, like creatine, like Cordyceps, and mitochondrial efficiency, enhancing stamina and reducing fatigue. So muscle growth and recovery, shown in studies to increase testosterone levels in men, which can support muscle strength and development. Also helps reduce exercise-induced fatigue, so like creatine does. Fulvic acid acts as a neuroprotective compound, so it may slow tau protein aggregation linked to Alzheimer's disease, and it improves mental clarity and focus. This list is long for this one. Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory as well. It neutralizes free radicals like grounding does when you're actually standing on the earth.
Which makes sense because it has 80 trace minerals in it as well. So you're getting all the benefits of all those other things like iron, zinc, magnesium, potassium, etc. Mm-hmm. And so you're taking here one thing, but you're getting the benefits of over 80 different
in a very very bioavailable form.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the resin that it comes from, the plant resin, it dissolves perfectly in water. If the water's a bit warmer, I take it under the tongue, but it hits your bloodstream really quickly, really well. So it delivers all those trace minerals in a very bioavailable form.
I mean, it's also, what an interesting way for this to be created. And then also that somebody thought, let's try that. Let's try this resin that's seeping out of the rocks from the Himalayas, right?
I know. At high altitudes, it's wild. They say Alexander the Great actually took it. And it's one of the things that made him feel so virile. And he only lived he was passed before he was like 30 years old. But conquering the world, if a world conqueror took it, I'm going to take it and hopefully conquer my business enterprises and things I'm trying to do. But to keep bullet pointing this, immune system support for cell function, regulating inflammation, reproductive health, traditionally as a fertility enhancer in men, but studies show increased sperm count and motility, mineral replenishment, so the 80 trace minerals, things that you lack in, it can help balance you out in those, healthy aging, so the longevity angle, and last, detoxification. So something that I wanted to hit home with Shilajit specifically is that there are, echoes of heavy metals being in a lot of things, the air we breathe, the foods we eat, the water. And Shilajit has a strong ability to bind to the metal toxins in the body and you pass them off. So taking them out of the brain, taking them out of the blood, taking them out of your organs, there are heavy metals and things that it actually helps bind to and release, which is amazing. And we'll link all the studies for this below as well.
Yeah, definitely one that I want to add to my list.
And I will say, so the markable effect, I take this in the morning, and if I don't take it, the difference between how much energy I feel and I don't is incredible.
Interesting.
So I'll take this.
Really, that like ATP production, it's definitely seeing a benefit there.
Yeah. Whereas most of these, except for the mushroom complex that we take, Shilajit is the one that it's almost like drinking coffee, except there's not a down effect. I don't feel jitters. I don't, have a crash. I just feel amazing.
Yeah.
Hyper focused the whole day. So
I wonder if that's in conjunction with the mushroom complex or if it's just the Shilajit on its own, right? So
I imagine they complement each other.
Yeah.
There's cell uptake or the cell function regulation of all of them, I think together probably have a profound effect.
Yeah.
So far, if we were to take all these, that's 3 supplements. So
that's 3.
We can get a complex for the mushrooms, creatine, and Shilajit. And so we still haven't broke the bank yet.
Right.
let's keep going.
Here's our next complex. It's a B vitamin complex. So something I take, vitamins B6, B12, and folate. And folate is vitamin B9. Okay. You can take this as is, what I would say like a normal B vitamin complex, or you can do a methylated version. So
what's the difference there?
That gets into like the mutation where some people can't process B vitamins correctly because of a genetic mutation. So you can take methylated forms of these vitamins.
No kidding.
And so it's, the MTHFR, I think is the acronym for the methylated form of that and the gene.
That's amazing.
But when we're looking at the benefits of vitamins B6, B12, and B9, B6, it's neurotransmitter production, protein metabolism, and hemoglobin synthesis. So that's supporting red blood cell production. So here we're looking at, on the protein metabolism side, getting into kind of like the creatine a little bit, right? We're helping break down and use amino acids. On the brain health side, looking at creating and helping create serotonin and dopamine and things like that for mood balance and stress resilience.
Absolutely.
So, B vitamins specifically are important in a lot of different ways. We get them through our diet, but depending on what types of foods we eat,
quantities,
are we getting natural B vitamins? Are we getting synthetic B vitamins? And so I don't know.
Get a B complex.
There's a larger conversation here about B vitamins. I do take this B vitamin complex just as an antidote. Something else that I've started doing recently, and this is its own conversation. It's definitely a rabbit trail, but it's getting into freshly milled flour.
I heard about you and Maddie doing that. Yeah.
So my wife Madison got into freshly milled flour, and we've started doing it. And one of the benefits of it is it has the germ and the bran still with all of the wheat, right? So
the naturally occurring B vitamins.
Right. And there's vitamin E and a bunch of other stuff. So, we talked about Shilajit, and it has the 80 trace minerals. When you have freshly milled flour, it has 40 of
That's
the trace
impressive.
minerals.
And I know modern bleach flour probably has 2.
Well,
if that,
the interesting thing about modern flour, so they actually sift everything. They sift out the germ. And what that does is they also get rid of all the vitamins. So then what they have to do is fortify it, right? You've heard about fortification of your foods. And so they're adding in the B vitamins. They're adding in the
what
iron.
should be naturally occurring if they didn't sift it to the degree they did.
And so the reason that you have to sift it is so that it's shelf stable. So it makes sense, right? That was the idea is, we can have flour that's easy. People don't have to have their own mills. It was a convenience factor, right? But there were unintended health consequences related to this. And so I'll end my rabbit trail here. People that are doing freshly milled flour that have gluten sensitivity, that have problems with carbohydrates, here in America, if you do freshly milled flour, you're probably not going to have those problems with your breads anymore.
And as a quick tangent on that, so the gluten sensitivity, like celiac disease is a big thing. I wonder if there's something naturally occurring in the freshly milled flour and freshly milled flour in general that's sifted out that actually helps with that metabolism.
One of the thoughts there is that the synthetic forms of the vitamins and minerals that are put back in actually cause an inflammatory response.
I imagine,
because they're not the naturally occurring versions.
Which are in such a balance that it's healthy and however it's taken in,
It's fascinating. We'll end the rabbit trail there. So jumping back in, we talked about B6 and some of the benefits there. B12, we also see red blood cell formation. DNA synthesis, so it is critical for cell replication and repair. So when I think about longevity, B12 is one of those. They're also neurological health, energy production. So again, kind of getting back into mitochondrial health, which is really important. We want to protect our mitochondria inside our cells. They're the powerhouse, right? Yeah, it's a powerhouse of the cell. Everybody knows that. But why is that important? Well, our body needs energy to function, to survive.
100%.
If your mitochondrial health is aging, is getting worse, then your ability to function is getting worse.
And
so
every
one
way,
of the most important things we can do is improve our mitochondrial health.
And do they test that? They can say you have the lungs of a 20-year-old man, but you're 40. Do they test mitochondrial health? Your chronological age is 40, but you have the mitochondrial health of.
That's a question for Dr. Harris.
We're going to ask Dr. Harris that. I'm super curious.
But I would bet that they could measure ATP in the body. Right?
They should be able to. I mean, that's a marker.
Which is what
if they know about
mitochondria.
They know about its age and how it should look.
Yeah. Okay, and then so finishing out this complex, B6, B12, and B9, which is folate. Folate also helps with DNA and RNA synthesis. methylation cycle. So it provides methyl groups that are crucial for detoxing, for neurotransmitter production, for regulating gene expression, and then also with homocysteine regulation. So B6, B12, and B9 all kind of work together to help your body in a lot of different areas. And it kind of fits in line with everything else we've been talking about so far.
Goodness. It blows me away, the diversity in all of this, because there's tremendous overlap, and these things are entirely different sources.
Right.
So you have creatine that naturally occurs in beef and in fish, and you'd have to eat like 2 pounds a day to get 5 grams or 8 grams a day. Then you have the mushroom complex, B6 complex, which I know occurs in plants, but in the freshly milled flour, so wheat, it occurs there. And all of these things, it's like creation is just, not to use the word again, but inundated with, that's not the right word, abundant. It's abundant with the sources of nutrition we need. And then the other is a resin found high in the mountains of India.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And there's so much overlap. It's like no matter where you are, when you are, we were supposed to have this stuff. And bioavailability, we haven't touched on this, but in plants itself, the soil gets depleted over time. And so your ability to get, what 1 orange worth of vitamin C in 1950 is now, it takes 20 oranges to get, or different. 50 oranges. So having these untapped potentials in these regions and being able to ship that worldwide, you're getting like the best kind of 3-hit combo from anywhere you are on the planet. So,
well, and it's really about supporting your body, supporting your health for healthy aging and for peak performance right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next one in this kind of like micronutrient foundational health section is vitamin D3 and K2. Do you take this?
Big ones. Yeah.
Okay.
And I have my own. I would love to hear your thoughts, because I've got some short thoughts on why I love these so much. But
yeah, so I guess jumping back really quickly, vitamin B6, B12, and folate I take as a pill. It's a complex,
which I will now get on.
And I take that in the morning as well. It's just a simple, easy thing to add.
I will add B6. I did mention this real quick. My wife, who's in her first trimester, is taking that for nausea. It's something recommended by doctors for nausea. Just pure B6. So if you have that, if you're pregnant, I think it, like Aaron's saying, it has a lot of benefits for male health as well. Yeah. But B6, like, these are things I didn't know about before 2 weeks ago. And now, like you with creatine, I'm finding out a ton about these. And it's,
that's awesome. B12 also. I know somebody who used to take B12 shots and did that for hormone regulation and for energy and things like that also. So
that's true. The shots, I forgot about that. I've definitely heard that before.
All right. So jumping into vitamin D3 and K2, I don't know about for you, but for me, this is a liquid. It's a dropper. I take 2 drops. I do it every morning on my tongue.
Pills. Okay. That's nice.
Okay. So that's good to know. There are different ways to do this.
I didn't know that there were droppers. Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, so vitamins D3 and K2. So D3 improves calcium absorption, bone health, immune function, mood, and testosterone. K2 directs calcium into the bones and prevents arterial calcification.
That's huge.
So we're seeing kind of cardiovascular and bone health from K2, and from D3, we're looking at also bone health, right? Calcium absorption, but immune function, mood, and testosterone. So we're getting into hormonal regulation with the D vitamin. In addition to D3 and K2, something else that's really important that we all know is really important is getting out in the sunlight as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's something that I've started to intentionally incorporate more, is making sure that I am getting outside during sunlight hours and getting some sun on my skin.
Crazy you say
I'm
that.
not, promoting going out and getting sunburnt. You definitely don't want to do that, but there is a healthy amount. There's a ton of science behind just going out and getting sunlight.
Yes.
I am also supplementing with vitamin D3 and K2 as a combined compound.
It's a powerful mix. These are getting into a different realm of vitamins that like the B vitamins kind of start to get on, but with sunlight, your skin naturally absorbs sunlight as vitamin D. They found that in even skin cancer stuff, it's when somebody isn't exposed to sunlight a lot and then they go out for a long period of time, that's when they're susceptible. But people who get regular sun exposure seem to build an immunity against the sun toxins that you can get from that.
Toxic effect of too much sun.
But supplementing it is really powerful. There's, for men, I don't know about women, but there's an upper limit of IUs of vitamin D that you want to take in a day, unless you have it coupled with vitamin K.
Right.
Too. Vitamin K2 it's naturally occurring as well, like, vitamin D, creatine, all these things are. but vitamin K1 is in plants and it's not very bioavailable. Vitamin K2 is in animals. And if you're not eating an animal-rich diet, supplementing that's really healthy. It helps bind to the vitamin D3. And the big thing there, I take like 3 of these 10,000 IU pills a day.
Yeah.
And with vitamin K2, and I do eat a lot of meat, it absorbs really well. I feel a boost in energy. I take that in the morning. Never take vitamin D3 at night because it uptakes your energy a lot. So yeah, I take this at night.
You mean in the morning?
Sorry, thank you. In the morning. I take this in the morning, not at night. And I got on it because of the testosterone. I saw early on, years ago, a doctor recommended this for testosterone, and I have not gotten off of it since. Yeah. It's an incredible thing. So yeah,
it's one of those things that it just makes you feel better.
Yeah. It definitely does. It makes you feel happier. It's like an antidepressant too, which I don't know if that's linked here, but it's like the sun hormone, and it makes you feel happier.
Yeah. Well, that's that combination, of vitamin D3 and K2, where you see here immune function and mood boosting, and also testosterone. So you're getting those hormonal benefits there.
And you feel it.
Also, something that I thought was fascinating when we started doing the research on this is that vitamin D3 and K2 can also induce apoptosis, which is programmed cell death. Right?
No kidding.
And so specifically, it can do that for some cancers like ovarian cancer, leukemia, and bladder cancer.
Did not know that. That's so crazy.
Vitamins D3 and K2 for programmatic cell death to help get rid of cancer.
Hey, that and some Turkish nay, right?
Right? Yeah.
If you've seen an earlier episode of ours. That's amazing. No, I had no idea the apoptosis. I also found in a fast recently, because you talk a lot about that, vitamin D3 is something that they recommend taking during a fast because it helps with autophagy too.
Interesting.
And that was fascinating.
Yeah. Well, and it makes sense because autophagy is, so similar to apoptosis. Autophagy is that process of the body going through looking at cells that are unhealthy, that need to be removed from the body, and kind of getting rid of the weakest links.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing, vitamin D, higher levels of vitamin D in the body have also been higher levels of vitamin D in the body have also been linked to reduced risks of colorectal, breast, and other types of cancer as well. So again, this vitamin D3 K2 complex is really fascinating, really interesting, and I think probably could have its own episode like so many of these. Yeah. So this next one is one that I take. I take magnesium glycinate. Do you take magnesium?
I definitely do.
Okay. And then do you do glycinate, or do you do another form of magnesium?
So I have the Dr. Harris would correct me probably, but I know there's 4 main forms. I think there's 4 main forms, but I can't remember the name of a complex that I have of 2 of them, but glycinate I take separately, and I take that religiously, like every day, for insulin sensitivity and things like that, which I'm not sure is listed here, but it definitely helps with that.
Yeah. And magnesium glycinate, what we have core benefits, supporting muscle relaxation, recovery, and sleep. And it's also a cofactor in over 300 enzymatic reactions. So just broadly helps the body. I know for myself and my family, one of the reasons that we take magnesium glycinate is we feel that it helps with heart health, cardiovascular health. Cool. We also feel that it just is a really good, also kind of an adaptogen, like helps balances mood, emotions, and just makes you feel more stable throughout the day.
Absolutely. Definitely helps me sleep better when I take it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's listed, but the muscle relaxation is a mental relaxation to it.
Yeah.
I take,
and maybe that's where,
I think it is that glycinate. I take it like, I try to take it 30 minutes before bed, because when I do that, I notice when I lay down, there's like a piece. It's like I'm able to actually lay in the bed instead of laying on the bed. There's a settling into myself, I feel. So
that's fascinating. Okay, I want to move through some of these quickly. The next one is milk thistle. This is not something I take. This is something
I added. Yeah.
So tell me more about this.
So milk thistle is one of those ones that goes back a long time. As far as I know, centuries, but Native Americans have been taking it here in America for a while. And you'll hear stories of like something my great grandmother, who's a Native American, always told me about was milk thistle. So it's a naturally occurring plant that they have put in capsule form now, but its big proponent is that it's a liver health. So milk thistle helps detox your liver, fights against fatty liver. What is that term? Liver cirrhosis, I think. Yeah. So it fights against this thing by being an antioxidant, reducing the oxidative stress within your liver. So the reason I added this to the list is if you are taking for years with any PEDs, though I'm not commenting on those, it was taken with any alcohol because it helps fortify the liver. But the reason I put it is that when you're taking a litany of any supplements, any toxins in the supplements that could be a byproduct of the healthier products within them, milk thistle helps negate that as far as the liver goes. So
interesting.
Your liver ends up being healthier, able to regenerate faster, release toxins faster. So it's something I take along with my glycinate every night.
Okay.
And that's so that while I'm sleeping, my liver is less taxed and has what it needs to clean up my body.
Well, and that makes sense too, because it's, supporting detoxification. And one of the things that your body is doing at night is detoxification, right? And that's for your liver as well as for your brain. When you're in certain sleep cycles, your brain is also detoxing. And so
I would love to do an episode or hear that from Dr. Harris too, and you, because I didn't know that.
I learned that from Dr. Harris.
That the brain is detoxing during sleep. Yep. I mean, it sounds like once you hear it, you're like, well, yeah, duh.
It makes sense.
But didn't know that. That's awesome. But yeah, this is the liver effect of that. And so I would recommend you get on this. The funny thing is when I started taking it, I noticed my vision cleared up. Mood was better. Like I didn't have... I don't know the liver's function in this, but a lot less grogginess, mental fatigue. It was like just clearer throughout the day.
Maybe it's helping improve your body's ability to detox, which is then making it easier for you to sleep deep and to get in some of those sleep cycles.
Yeah,
so I would actually be really interested to see what kind of sleep studies have been done with milk thistle.
That'd be awesome, because I didn't ever read that it was best to take it at night.
You just kind of found that.
It's man, that's getting into a whole science, but herbs and when to take them and when they flower during the day is when you should take them and all this stuff. But I wonder if milk thistle does better in shade, even like just little things like that. But I want to go over some potential health benefits in addition to what I said. So antioxidant, it reduces inflammation in the body, which is massive. And not all the supplements we have do that. Some of them definitely do, but it also improves insulin sensitivity and blood sugar balance. So blood sugar regulation, getting the glycogen out of your blood instead of it being filled. So again, helps the liver detox sugars from the blood, and supports skin clarity and reduces inflammation-driven skin issues. So
fascinating.
This would be your acne, your eczema. So I wish I'd gotten on it as a teen.
Right.
Probably have less scarring on my face, but all of these are fascinating, and they're all things that, oh my gosh, we got more on this list.
Yeah, we have 14. We're on number 10. All right, so this next section is longevity, cellular, and brain health.
Okay, awesome.
A lot of what we've been doing is also related to longevity, cellular health, and brain health, but these are kind of specific for this category. The first one is NMN, which is nicotinamide mononucleotide. So I first heard about NMN in 2015, 2016.
That was a while ago. I'm like last month.
So,
seriously.
So about a decade ago. And the fascinating thing for me about NMN is it's a precursor to NAD+, which is the precursor to ATP. So we were talking about like the precursor to the precursor, which is the body's form of energy. The reason it's important is because if you just took ATP or if you just took NAD, there are some issues with your body's ability to absorb it, right? It needs to be created in a certain spot so your body can actually use it.
Hierarchy of creation.
So it's one of those things where like just taking an ATP supplement, we were talking about your mitochondrial health. Well, it's like, well, maybe if I can just take what my body was creating, what my mitochondria is creating, that would improve my health.
Teach a man to fish or give him a fish.
Yeah. So what we're doing here is kind of going back several steps and saying, okay, well, for your body to produce ATP, it needs NAD. For it to produce NAD, it needs NMN. So starting with NMN.
That's amazing.
I will say that this is it's still early science for it. So a lot of the science here is done in mice. And this is really being led by Dr. David Sinclair, who's somebody that I've been following for a long time. But some fascinating things that are coming out of Dr. Sinclair's lab. So it's in his studies, NMN is improving energy metabolism and mitochondrial function, which is why I'm taking it, right?
Right.
It's increasing health span. It reduces frailty and improves endurance in mice. So,
I will say all the studies I've done, I've never seen these terms.
Yeah.
Health span, frailty. That's amazing.
Well, these are longevity related. Like this is specifically like the reason you would take this is for someone who's looking to live better. Longer, age better, and be more functional, right? In that higher age.
That's incredible.
Also, what they found in female mice is that it's increasing lifespan by 8.5%.
which that's a huge percent.
It's a big jump.
I mean, if you live to 100, you're now living to 108. Yeah, 110. So
or 108. Yeah.
If it's the same corollary to human as it is mice, but all right, what else? What else does it do in humans?
Other potential benefits, beyond just like healthy aging, are improved brain function, better insulin sensitivity, and resilience against age-related decline. So
all the longevity markers.
Yeah, this one is purely mitochondrial health, purely longevity related for me. The next one is CoQ10. This one has been talked about for a long time. Mm-hmm. This is one of those, ideally it's taken with a large meal because it is a fat soluble.
Good to know.
So CoQ10 is one that, you can take anytime, but probably better in the evening time. Take it like whenever you're going to have your heaviest meal of the day.
Absolutely.
But benefits of CoQ10 for heart health: it helps lower blood pressure, improves cholesterol, may reduce heart risk, heart failure. Mm-hmm. It's an antioxidant, so it neutralizes free radicals. It may reduce cancer and neurodegradation risk. There's also migraine-related benefits, muscle function-related benefits, blood sugar-related benefits, and then oral health and skin health as well.
Yeah, so, it may reduce gum disease and improve wrinkles.
Which is crazy, right? I take CoQ10 for some of the more like neurological, longevity-related benefits.
But it's so many that it's covering in you that it's funny when you take these preventatively and you do things for your health, you don't notice when stuff may have come up without it.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the suite of it is amazing.
I would never have thought that CoQ10 was, helping with oral health or skin health.
Sure.
But
have you seen a smile?
All right. This next one is one that you take.
Yeah. L-theanine is actually one I heard of from Dr. Harris as well. So I'll go over core benefits. I take this in the morning. So apparently you can take it at night, but there's a slight, what I feel is like an energy uptick, or it seems to be an antidepressant too. So I take it and I feel a lot better. So when I take it at night, I find that my thoughts kind of wander.
Okay.
So I take it in the morning, first thing out of bed. I don't think it's fat soluble. I think you can take it on an empty stomach. I've never had any uncomfortability doing that.
Yeah. Well, it's an amino acid, which is the building blocks for proteins.
Exactly.
So it would make sense that you should be able to take this at any point in time.
Exactly. Yeah. So core benefits: amino acid. It's from green tea and it induces calm focus. So kind of the I hadn't even read that
with the mushroom complex.
Exactly. Yeah, another overlap.
But it's an amino acid, so it's coming at it from a completely different angle.
And will help cell health and DNA health as well, which it doesn't talk about a lot here, but that's something that they're finding is those amino acids, the specific ones that are broken up, will help target any DNA amino acid that also needs that if you have the coupling blocks to build it. But I'm going to go over some potential health benefits of L-theanine, which I think you should definitely get on if you're not. It helps with stress too. But promotes relaxation and reduces anxiety without sedation. So it doesn't cause you to, it's not a downer, but it causes you to feel happier, feel better by reducing those.
An adaptogen of sorts.
Mm-hmm. Increases alpha brain wave activity. So state of relaxed focus, like that flow state we all want to get into. That's why I take it first thing in the morning with my mushroom complex.
Yeah.
It's like it gears me up to work and work long.
It seems like it would be perfect to take with that.
It's awesome. So this is one, improves sleep quality when taken with magnesium or in the evening. I did that for about a week when I first started this like a year ago and haven't done it in the evening since then. And I don't notice that there's a magnesium, zinc, vitamin K2 complex that I take in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I take that with the L-theanine. So maybe that's why, it helps couple the magnesium with the L-theanine in the morning. When combined with caffeine, which I'm a black coffee drinker every morning, it sharpens focus and reduces jitters. So this with the Shilajit, I can honestly say I never notice a crash anymore. I never notice jitters.
Wow.
It's phenomenal. Potential neuroprotective effects. So it's an antioxidant activity in the brain. It has those. So it passes the blood-brain barrier. It does good things for your neurons, which not every supplement here actually passes that blood-brain barrier, which is its ability. Like they can espouse that it helps brain health, but does it help a function in the body that helps brain health, or does it actually help your brain health directly or indirectly? So this is one that helps it directly.
So the next one on the list is lion's mane, and this is something that we both take as well. This is actually a part of the Ashwagandha, Rhodiola, and Cordyceps complex that we take, but it's here in this other section, which is the longevity, cellular health, and brain health section, because it's more of a, I would say, brain health supplement. Yeah. So core benefits of lion's mane: nerve growth factor stimulation. Cognitive function. So studies in older adults have shown that it improves mild cognitive impairment, memory, and focus with daily supplementation. So it's another one of those, like, take daily so that your body can build up some stores. Helps with mood support and also with gut health. And now gut health is interesting because our gut is our first brain, right? Yeah. So our gut is where so many of our hormones are actually created. And that's correct and it's incorrect, right? Sure. The precursors for a lot of our hormones are created in the gut. So the gut sends enzymes, sends molecules to our brain and to
reproductive organs.
Right, yeah, to other parts of our body, which then produce hormones for us. But like, it's one of those, when you trace it back, it's like,
starts in the gut.
It's like NMN, where, you know, NMN turns into NAD plus, which turns into ATP, which is the energy that we actually use in our body. Here we're going back, right? Our gut is where kind of our hormone production starts, right? That's where the chemicals come from that help us to have the correct hormones going through our
chemicals, body. And I'd even go so far as to say the signals.
Yeah.
So depending on the food you're eating too, like in addition to what you're saying, the food you're eating, is it healthy? Is it timed? Is it circadian rhythm correct? Kind of thing. And what does that tell the gut to produce when? So if you're lacking in a specific nutrient, that may even be good for your blood type. Yeah. And your gut doesn't read that you're getting it. It may overproduce cortisol and underproduce testosterone. But yeah, the gut is definitely the first brain, and just a wild. I think you did an episode on that with Dr. Harris.
Well, yeah, in that one we talked a lot about fasting as well, and the importance of fasting to regulate your gut health. Yeah. So one of the, you know, in our society right now, where food is not scarce and we are often constantly eating, we're not giving our body a chance to switch out of the digestion cycle. And it's a really important thing, is the gut needs time to rest. One of the ways that our gut works is because of all the microbiome, right? There are tons of microbes in our gut, a lot of different types, and they change all the time based on the different foods that we're eating, the time that we're eating, everything that you're talking about.
The time we're not eating.
Yeah. And so it's important to rest your digestive system so that it can operate at its peak level and so that it's not overworked, just like a muscle.
Just like sleep.
Yeah.
We don't sleep, we don't do well.
Right.
That's what we've seen.
Yep. So yeah, lion's mane is just another one of those, you know, beneficial to add into the mix, specifically on that like mental health, brain health related side.
And it adds some potential benefits to neuroprotection, nerve injury recovery, so sciatica, things like that, immune modulation, and metabolic health. So your ability to synthesize fats, proteins. Yeah. That's phenomenal. So this is a whole list of physical supplements.
Right.
What I'm interested in the beginning, we talked about running from the saber-tooth tiger, modern day stressors. Yep. What is a non-ingesting, something I don't have to ingest that can actually help me though?
Well, and that's where soak comes in. That's where sound frequency compositions come in. And some of these supplements, you know, soak can do similar things, right? Like we have a depression relief sound frequency composition. We have an anxiety relief, a stress relief,
whole body detox.
Composition. We have detox related compositions. So when you think about lowering cortisol levels or just managing stress levels, stress resilience, that is something that your body can do by hearing specific sounds. And the fascinating thing is that when we think about, and even I guess when I said hearing specific sounds, we think about hearing as related to the ears.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's not just our ears that hear, our body actually hears. Our cells can hear. And it's something that we've known for a long time when we look at, you know, historical and cultures that, you know, make certain sounds, have certain instruments, have certain dances, certain movements. There are certain patterns, whether that's the cadence of a dance and the actual rhythm of that and the shaking of the body being lymphatic a mechanical oscillation, right? That helps with lymphatic drainage. Jumping on the trampoline, again, helping with lymphatic drainage, right? Because you're doing that motion.
I've never thought about that. The dances.
Right. But so the dances themselves are, and with this, I'm thinking primarily about Native American cultures and stomp dances and things like that. But
or African tribal dances.
There's so many different types of dances anywhere around the world you go related to like that dance, that movement, the timing of it is the same thing as sound. It is a mechanical oscillation, right? Like for your body, it would be perceived the same way as being hit with sound waves. in that way.
So
it's fascinating.
Maybe slowed down. Like you have something that's 90 hertz versus, 90 hops and whatever it is. But that is phenomenal. That's really cool insight.
Some of the same things that we can do when we think about this, our culture today, we're sitting in chairs, sitting in couches, sitting at an office, working on your computer, and we have a sound frequency composition that can help you focus. Yeah. Right? To help you get into that flow state.
Yeah, the neuroprotected, or not neuroprotected, but the flow state that you want to be in, testosterone boost.
Right.
I mean, our buckets of 30, as Henry calls them, the 30 frequencies that we have compositions for in our library, hit these things that it seems like every one of these, we have an exercise enhancement.
Right.
I mean, so
cardiovascular health.
It's incredible. So you have supplements that your body takes in, and it has internal results, internal processes. With our cells being mechanosensitive, they have receptors that are like antennae that shake and give the cells marching orders. It's like your words. Well,
and that's
power,
like it's latest science, right? Like that's 2025 science coming out.
But who's been saying it for thousands of years? Every culture,
right? Yeah.
That's
why it's one of the really cool things is that like we started this episode out, our body creates a lot of these things on its own already, and what we're doing here by taking these physical supplements is increasing our body's access to those things so that we can peak perform, right? Yep, we're trying to optimize our lives and, also trying to increase our longevity and our functional health, like actually being able to be mobile at 100 years old.
Bending over, picking up your grandkids.
Exactly. Kind of great grandkids. There are also digital supplements that we take, and there are digital ways like the Soak app to get some of these same benefits to also operate at your peak level.
Absolutely.
And so it's fascinating what we can do. It's fascinating what you can do just with sound, just with movement, just with supplements. But what's really cool is when you combine them all together.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're living happy. Your brain is clear. Your body's healthy. It's like the whole world around you feels you when you are at your healthiest.
Exactly.
And that's definitely what we want.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of The Science of Sound and our conversation all about supplements. If you have something that you think we should have added to the list, please let us know. Add it in the comments. And as always, we're adding these studies into the description so that you can learn more yourself and help, share in this knowledge base.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pleasure being here and talking about it with you.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
You've been listening to The Science of Sound with Aaron Fournier. If you found today's conversation insightful, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. For more resources on frequency-based wellness, follow along at Soak Podcast. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and stay in tune with The Science of Sound.